Hello guys, Mike here from TA Outdoors. Thanks very much for clicking on this video. First up, I'd like to thank Military First, who are sponsoring the video. Thank you very much for that, guys. Really do appreciate it. So Military First are actually a UK-based company. I believe they're based up in Manchester, and they're an online retailer that specialise in outdoor clothing, combat clothing, tactical footwear, tactical glasses, bushcraft camping and survival equipment, and a huge array of other stuff, guys. I've actually purchased from their website before, and what I love about it is that not only is their postage usually really efficient and fast, but it's also dead easy to navigate the website. There's something on there that's really unique I've not seen on many other outdoor clothing and gear websites, and that is that you can navigate for any kind of equipment, clothing and things like that by colour. They've got a tab that says colour. And I think that's really awesome. You can go under the colour tab and literally select the type of colour that you want, and it will pull up loads of equipment, backpacks, you know, EDC pouches and things like that that are in that specific colour. I think that's really unique. So for example, if you've got a backpack and you're looking to customise the side pouches on it, but you want to get something that's really close to the colour of your backpack, you simply go to the colour tab, choose which colour is as similar or as close to as possible as the colour of your backpack, and it pulls up all the kind of side pouches and general EDC pouches and gear that you can match to your backpack colour. But guys, this video is all about my Bushcraft first aid kit. I've had so many emails about it, so without further ado, let's take a look at it. So this is my first aid kit, guys, right here. It is the Pentagon Hypocrites first aid kit, which I've got from Military First. When you order this, it actually comes readily supplied with a load of first aid kit and gear in there, but what I've done is I've actually stripped the gear down and taken bits out and added bits to it to make it much more personalised to my needs. So it's nice and small, and on the back of the pouch here it's got some Velcro straps here and also some horizontal kind of molly straps here, and that means that you can either fit this onto your pack either in a vertical or a horizontal way. The zip itself has a seal, so it's all watertight. And everything on the bag is double stitched. You can see it's all double stitching there, and it's generally on the stress points. So this is the stress points of where it's going to be, you know, stretched quite a bit when there's a lot of equipment in there. So they've double stitched up here for, you know, extra security and to make it more durable. So what I've done is I've just got my Shemagh out, just so I think it will give you guys a bit of a better backdrop so you can see what's in here. I put in the video description a list of the items that come with this first aid kit when you buy it, but like I say, I've completely customised this and stripped it down and added and taken away things. So without further ado, let's take a look. First up I have bandages. The reason I have these near the top of the bag is if you've had a serious injury, and most likely my serious injuries are probably going to be cuts, nasty cuts. They could be deep cuts if I hit an artery or something like that. I'm going to need bandages straight away. And also tissues. If it's a simple cut, then I've got tissues here. Everything generally in this pack is in a Ziploc bag. And the reason I've got everything in a Ziploc bag is to keep it all waterproof, so that if this outside of the first aid kit gets completely soaked, I can feel safe knowing that the gear inside is generally going to be dry because it's kept in a Ziploc sealed bag. So bandages on the top in case I'm bleeding quite badly. I can just grab these, open that up, wrap my wound, and that will stop the bleeding and, well, try and prevent the bleeding as much as possible to begin with. The same with small cuts and bruises. So they're on the top there. And there is an explanation, guys, as to why I lay my first aid kit out like it is. It's not all just shoved in here, it's laid out properly. These bandages here actually come wrapped up like this when you get the first aid kit, but I like to flatten them out. I take them out of these and flatten them out purely because it makes it much easier to pack, and you can compress it down a lot more, and you can get more in your first aid kit. Whereas when they're all like this rolled up, I find that it actually takes up a little bit more room in your first aid kit and you can't put other items in there. So another PBT bandage here. These are great, they're just really elasticated as well, so you can stretch them and wrap that wound up nice and tight. Simple tissues in this one, and also a survival reflective blanket, or space blankets some people call them. Again, emergencies, if I'm in need of keeping warm and I'm wet and I'm generally getting hypothermic, that can reflect the body heat back onto me. However, once you open them, they are generally almost impossible to get back into a size like this, so that's kept in there. On the other side, I've got non-adherent pads. Then, again, close to the top is all my plasters. So everything here, there's alcohol wipes, there's small adhesive plasters, then there's this long kind of strip of plaster, which is awesome because often plasters like your classic shape, you know, don't tend to fit certain areas of your fingers and things like that, and you need to cut them to shape, and that's where this comes in really handy. Again, in a Ziploc bag, everything's in a Ziploc bag, because this is one big long strip of plaster basically, and you can see it here. And what I can do is I can cut that to any length with these scissors, which are down here in a minute. I can cut that to any length and any shape, should I wish to wrap it around my toes or my fingers or any awkward, you know, gaps and nooks and crannies in your hands. I can do that with this long plaster here. Really efficient, very handy. This does actually come with the first aid kit itself. Then I've got some simple medical tape here, which is to keep the bandages secure. Once I've wrapped them around, you can secure them with some simple tape here. If not, you can use plaster, or you could even pack a bit of Gorilla Tape or duct tape just to help. You know, you can use it for anything really, putting up structures or just tying bandages on yourself. That it will help. But that's in a Ziploc bag as well to keep it dry. This is a mirror, one of the Life Venture ones. They used to be really flimsy, but I think they've worked on strengthening them now. So this could be used for a number of different things. It comes in a kind of suede protective case. It's mainly used for if I get any pieces of wood where I've been using the axe or the saw and it flicks up into my eye, I can use this to look into my other eye to try and get it out. But it also can be used as a signal mirror for reflecting light back and doing SOS signals to any passing vehicles or planes that needed to be done. It's not as good as a proper signal mirror, but it can still be used as a signal mirror in a survival situation. Comes with a lanyard. Again, that cordage could be used to tie up shelters or anything like that. It's always important to have a bit of cordage with you. The mirror is credit card size really, so it doesn't take up much space at all in the first aid kit. You'd be amazed how much gear I can get in here. Safety pins for securing the bandages. So when I've wrapped the bandage around, if the tape runs out or it's not sticking, then I've got safety pins to secure those bandages up. In this part here, I then have scissors, which are in a protective case. I used to have a little plastic cap that went on the top of the scissors to stop them, you know, puncturing the bag. But you can use blue tack. I've used blue tack before. Again, these are in a sort of plastic case really, just to prevent them from rusting if they do get wet. They've got bright handles on them, so it's easy to find them. But these will be used to cut the bandages and plasters up. This is one of the Shoreline Marine whistles, the survival whistles. Incredibly flat, takes up no space at all really. Bright orange, you definitely shouldn't lose that. It's absolutely bright as anything, and very loud when you do blow it. That really hurt my ears, probably broke the microphone, but nice and simple, and it's flat. Then I've got a pair of tweezers. Again, I had a bit of blue tack that I've now, don't know where I've put it, but I used to put a bit of blue tack over those, or a small mini elastic band. You can get them in fishing. You use them over here in the UK. We use tiny elastic bands to put pellets and bait on the hook to hair rig it. And I used one of those to wrap these up tight, but you could use anything, and again, a bit of blue tack works fine. This is obviously used to get splinters out of my skin, if I need to get any splinters out, and any other small kind of fine tasks where I need to be getting things out of my skin. That's what the tweezers are for. And then the last thing on this side is Brulidine or Brulidine, and that's just, it's an antiseptic cream really. This one's got the expiry date on the top, which is handy, the 3rd, 2020, so I've got years left on that, about 3 or 4 years left on that. And usually this is for your small minor cuts and grazes. I wouldn't be putting this on huge open wounds, but it's definitely small minor cuts and grazes, which are going to be the most common injury that I would probably get using the equipment that I do. Things like fishing hooks in the hand, small knife slices on your fingers and things like that. Very handy. Obviously, if you're far away from home, you're going to need something that's antiseptic, really, because you don't want things getting infected. Once wounds get infected, that's when you can start having major problems. It's got a kind of mesh compartment with a zip, and in here I actually use this. This is really important because I'm going to explain this. This comes with two. What they are is resuscitation, basically masks, protective masks if you need to resuscitate someone, and they've got instructions on them, and this comes with the Pentagon first aid kit. I've actually taken one of them out and I've put something else in here, which I'll explain in a minute. But this is a fantastic idea, especially if there's two of you out camping, or 2 or more, and someone's seriously injured and they need to be resuscitated. Again, look, Ziploc bag, everything's protected. This is a protective mouthpiece that goes, I don't know if you guys can see those instructions there, but they've got instructions on how to use this, and it goes over someone's mouth like that. So imagine their mouth's here, your mouth then goes over this part, and then you can try and obviously do the technique of resuscitation, but it just protects the germs from going into your mouth. For those of you who are germ conscious out there, it's a great little thing to have. Handy if you're hiking on mountains and things like that. Nice bright red so you can see it easily, and it comes with a little split ring there as well. Now I took the other one out, and what I put in here, this is actually what I keep on me all the time. So as soon as I get to camp, I undo that, I take this out and I put this in my cargo pouch, because although this is small and it will fit in my cargo pouch, there is a fair bit of weight to it and it's quite bulky. Whereas this is like almost like a mini first aid kit that goes in my cargo pouch, and it's on me all the time. The reason why, and all it's got in it, it's dead simple. It's literally antiseptic wipes, and some plasters. Because for me, guys, the most common injury that I'm going to get, and that I do get, is minor cuts and grazes. Now, I don't want to have to go all the way back if I'm quite far from camp. You know, I'm talking a few hundred metres here. I don't want to have to walk all the way back when it's only a minor injury. So I just take these, and that way if I get any minor cuts from a knife or maybe, you know, the axe or something like that, then I just wipe it clean with this, dry it, and then I put on an adhesive bandage, or a plaster as we call them over here in the UK. So you guys in the US are probably going, man, what's a plaster, man? What the hell's that? Plaster, I don't think you guys call it that. You call it a bandage, or an adhesive bandage. And finally, in here is kind of my medication, really. It's not emergency medication, but it's stuff that will help get me by if I needed rescuing, or if I needed to get to somewhere to be rescued and I was really genuinely quite ill. So I've got paracetamol, and what I've done on these paracetamol capsules, these are 500 milligram ones, I've actually put the expiry date of them, because you don't generally see the expiry date on all of the back of here. It's usually on the box. So this one expires in 2021. Obviously, depending on when you watch this video, it might have expired already and I've changed it, but always write the date on the back of pills. So I've got some paracetamol there. This is Rennie. This one actually does have the expiry date on it. If you guys don't have Rennies where you are, they're basically for indigestion and your stomach. They help to settle your stomach and indigestion. If I've eaten something bad and I've been sick and I'm ill and my stomach's really cramping, this will help to settle it. And finally, a couple of packets of diaurolite, which is basically a replacement of essential body water and salts. So you just dilute this in some water, drink it. Doesn't taste too bad. It's a blackcurrant flavour. It doesn't taste too bad. But it's just if you've had really bad diarrhea or you've been vomiting loads and you must replace those essential salts and water that you've lost, this just helps to rehydrate you and get all those salts back in your body. In my bag, in another kind of pouch I've got, it's in my backpack at the moment, is water purification tablets as well. They usually go in here, but for some reason, I've obviously used them recently, they're up in my backpack. Okay guys, so what I've done is I've laid this all out on my Shemagh for you, and I've taken a still picture, and hopefully as you're seeing this, you'll see some text under each item, and what you can do with that is if you pause the video, you should be able to write down what's on that, and you can take from it what you want. But that's basically everything that's in my first aid kit. It's where I carry it all the time in the side pocket of my backpack, and if I'm going far away from camp, I will put the actual Pentagon mini first aid kit inside my cargo pouch of my trousers and take it with me. Especially if I'm fishing, if I'm camping, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I will take this with me everywhere I go. And don't forget guys, the Shemagh, which I was lying all those items on, which is basically like a large scarf in a square shape, that can also be used as a first aid item. You can use it as a sling really, so if you've damaged your collarbone or your shoulder or part of your arm, you can form this into a sling, and I'll just show you quickly now. Make it into a triangle, and then grab the two furthest away bits of the triangle, tie like an overhand knot, or the start of an overhand knot like you do with your shoelaces, pull it about half a foot through, tie the overhand knot which locks it off. Put that overhand knot around your head. Obviously you wouldn't be able to bend this arm, so you'd be doing it with one arm. Tuck that through, and there you have a sling. So if you've damaged your collarbone generally, where you can't straighten your arm and you can't lift the weight of your arm, you've got a makeshift sling. It's not the official way of doing it, but it's just my way of doing it. It's just worked for me, and you can adjust the tension of it by just tightening the knot at the back. The tighter, the more you pull this knot through, the tighter you pull that through, or the more Shemagh you pull through, the higher up this will sit. So it might sit up here, might sit lower, it depends on the comfortableness of your collarbone if you've damaged it. Obviously really you want it at a right angle, slightly raised if anything. But an essential piece, the first aid kit really, and it's used for so much. You can use it as a flannel to wash your face, you can use it as a towel to dry off if you're soaking wet. I use this for a pillow. It's probably one of my most used items, but actually you don't really see it in the videos. It's just something that I just generally use. There's also another piece of equipment that I got from Military First, which isn't actually part of my first aid kit, but it's an EDC pouch by Pentagon, which I actually use for my camera gear. I'll just quickly show you what I put in here. So this is an EDC pouch, which means everyday carry, for those that don't know. And really you could use it as kind of a day carry, where you carry into the woods if you're just going for a day hike and things like that. This one's by Pentagon. I quite like the Pentagon brand. Really good, strong, reliable brand. It's just got a mesh pocket at the front, which I don't tend to use. And then because obviously you guys don't really see this because I don't film it, so this is actually in my pack all the time. So in here, and you can tighten and loosen this. This has different molly straps and different webbing straps inside, double webbing straps, so you can put pens, pencils, flashlights, anything you want. That's the whole thing about an EDC, you can put anything you want in there. This is a windsock for my camera microphone for the windy days. That just tucks in there. It's nice quick access for when the wind does pick up and I need to put that on my microphone. In this side I have my camera chips, I have spare lenses and filters, spare lens caps if I lose one, spare supports, rubber supports for my microphone, and basically a clean handkerchief to clean the lens if there gets any dirt on it. I'll go through my actual camera gear in another video, guys, but I'm just showing you roughly what I do. This side I have all my batteries. I've got my GoPro batteries I keep in zip-locked bags all the time to keep them protected from the rain. My main camera batteries there, again, zip-lock bags, everything in zip-lock bags to keep it all as waterproof as possible. This is a lapel microphone, which is there, which I generally use for my GoPro, but I can use for the big camera should the other microphone fail. And a spare battery for my microphone. So obviously I've got a lot of weight and stuff that I carry extra that you guys probably don't carry unless you're filmmakers and you make films. But that's just an insight really. And this is a great EDC pouch because you can tighten it and loosen it like this. It's got like a bit of cordage that goes all the way around the edge, and you can tighten that and loosen it depending on how much gear you put in there. Very useful piece of kit. It's handy. It's got D-rings on the back here, so I can just clip that to my bag should I need easy access to it or on a tree. And it's also got molly webbing straps and belt straps and stuff at the back here. You don't realise how quickly you can get an injury, so please, please, please do prioritise your first aid kit. If you haven't now, then now is the time to do it. Make sure it covers the type of injuries that you get. For me, the most common injuries that I do get are small cuts and grazes, generally around my hands where I'm using knives, even when I'm picking sticks up or I'm snapping sticks, and you just get cuts and grazes there. Also bruises. They're the most common things I do get, but more importantly, almost more important than your first aid kit is water, guys. Make sure you bring plenty of water with you. Another important part of first aid is to let someone know where you will be or where you are going. Just so if you needed to make that rescue call or someone's realised that you've not been home in a while, they will know at least where you've been or where you have been going. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another episode of TA Outdoors.